bounce around like Mayweather's done. You know, 54-pound champ, 47-pound champ. He's moved down to catch weights at 45. So, you know, if you got the right guy in front of you, and sometimes it's necessary to move the weight around. The great guys can do it.
And sometimes the higher the weight you go, the bigger is the pay. Isn't it in boxing?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. If you go to cruiserweight, you're not going to find a lot of money there.
Heavyweight, maybe.
Yeah, but that's not where we're headed. So, if you go to, let's say Mayweather wins this fight and he wanted to come up to 160, could Julio make 160 and fight him? Well, he'd be moving down and making a lot of money. So what I'm saying is this, is that the money is where the great fighters are, not necessarily the weight. It's the great matchups that make you the money. But I don't think it's all about the money. I think it's all about what is best for the fighter, number one, and then the fans. So what's best for Julio is what we're going to do. And if that means 68, that's what it means. We didn't want to fight at 70. He could have said 75, but Fonfara's coming down and we're going up a little bit, so we're kind of meeting in the middle. I think it's a fair exchange in the robbery.
About the sparring, what did he work with? The sparring?
Oh yeah. He had sparring here. He had sparring over in Lake Tahoe. We did running. We did a lot of running in the mountains, in the lake. He did strength training with his fantastic strength coach. He's got a great team around him. Guys that do everything from A to Z. I'm just another cog in the wheel here. He swam a lot. He did weights. He did running. He did strength training. He did sparring. You name it, he did it.
Who did he sparring with?
He sparred with the guys that were the right style, that brought the Fonfara style to the table. Just one in particular, a guy, Terrell Williams, who brought a great jab and right hand to the table, a guy named John Hayes, who had the height and the good jab as well. We tried to emulate Fonfara as much as we could, but we had other sparring partners as well.
Thank you.
Joe, did you talk with Chavez Jr. about discipline before?
No, I didn't talk to him about it. I think that's a given. I think he understands that, I'm all about conditioning. I'm all about hard work. But I didn't have to discuss that with him because he showed me he wanted to do it, number one, by coming to me. And number two, he's the one who suggested a training camp. Now, most fighters would rather just stay home and train if they could. He's the one who put himself in the situation where it was going to be more difficult on him physically. And, going up to a training camp for 5 weeks, sitting in a hotel room and doing nothing except training is a very difficult thing to do. So he was very, very dedicated to this particular camp. It showed me a lot, so I didn't have to push him on that. He was willing, ready, and able participant, which was good. So that took something off the table that I didn't have to worry about because he was self-motivated, which I appreciate. When any fighter is self-motivated, they understand the nature of this sport can be very dangerous, and if you don't train to your full capabilities, it can be very hurtful. So I liked the fact that he made the commitment to a training camp, and quite frankly, sometimes 3 workouts a day. I was very impressed.
Are you planning to be with him for more fights, or are you going to see how it goes with this one?
Well, look, why wouldn't I want to be attached to Julio Jr. for the rest of his career? I would love that. But of course, everything is on a fight-to-fight basis. I think the important thing is that we win this fight on April 18th, and then those type of questions will answer themselves.
I saw that his uncle is also in the team.
Rodolfo. Yeah. Rodolfo had over 100 fights himself in Mexico, and he knows what he's looking at. He's very well schooled, just like his brother Julio. Sr., who I loved having in camp. You know, he's a great sounding board. He's the type of guy that knows what he's looking at. One of the greatest fighters that ever laced him up. So I appreciated every minute that Rodolfo Chavez was there, every minute that Julio Sr. was there. You know, you couldn't ask for better guys to get advice from. And I think they're two inspirational guys anyway.